Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Have Cowboys fans seen the last of these three familiar faces? The end session button for the 2024 NFL season was smashed by the Philadelphia Eagles when the clock hit all zeros in their dominant Super Bowl victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Dominant is just one word we can use to describe the absolute dismantling of 3x Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes and the hapless Chiefs, who had no answer for the Eagles' unrelenting front four. The worst part about this picture is that the Eagles are in the same division as the Cowboys. For years, the Cowboys have been good enough to hold the upper hand in the NFC East, but have struggled with other NFC opponents. Now, the top dog in the NFC is the team that will dominate the NFC East and the entire conference unless the Cowboys make some big moves in free agency. Before the Cowboys can turn their eyes onto the third wave of free agency, see what I did there, they have to make decisions on some of their own players first. There are over 25 players with expiring contracts, and some of them have been with the team for more than one contract extension. There are some familiar faces that Cowboys fans may have seen the last of with a star on their helmet. DeMarcus Lawrence. The top two players on this list are longtime team captains, Pro Bowlers, All-Pros, and leaders on this team. First comes DeMarcus Lawrence. Tank, as he is affectionately known in the locker room, was a second-round pick in the 2014 NFL Draft from Boise State University. Lawrence has been a staple on the defensive line, making big plays for the defense since his rookie season. My earliest memory of him is the wild-card game versus Detroit that same rookie season. He picked up a fumble by Lions QB Matthew Stafford that should have sealed the game, but he was stripped of the ball when he tried to pick it up and return it. A few short plays later, he strip-sacked Stafford himself to seal the victory. RG Zach Martin arrived in Dallas. 2014 RG Zach Martin is another team captain and leader that has been with the team since the same 2014 NFL Draft as Tank Lawrence. Martin was the Cowboys' first-round pick in that draft, taken 16th overall. This was the famous draft, where it is reported that Stephen Jones and Will McClay talked Jerry Jones out of taking QB Johnny Manziel from Texas A&M College Station. It turned out to be the right choice, as Martin has racked up 7 NFL All-Pro selections, and for a time had more All-Pro selections than accepted penalties against him. Martin is not the same player he once was, dealing with an array of injuries, but when healthy, he is still a valuable piece of the offensive line. If he chooses to continue to play and the Cowboys want him back, maybe they can bring him back on a team-friendly deal. CB Jordan Lewis arrived in Dallas. 2017 CB Jordan Lewis was the Cowboys' third-round pick in the 2017 NFL Draft from the University of Michigan. Lewis is an undersized player who has never let his size dictate his play on the field. He is scrappy, smart, and opportunistic. He has survived different defensive coordinators, making the team as the starting nickel cornerback each time, even after suffering a severe injury. If given another contract in 2025, I know that he can succeed in new DC Matt Eberflus scheme. Cowboys fans have grown accustomed to seeing these players on the sideline, and I think I speak for most when I say that I'd love to see all three of these players brought back in some capacity. I know the Cowboys are in a mini rebuild, but the veteran presence of these three players can help with that transition. Insane proposal. Packers send 2 starters to Cowboys in huge trade idea, report. The Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys are going into the 2025 season both looking to return to the playoffs. While Green Bay has made the playoffs each of the last 2 seasons, many analysts agree they are a few pieces away from competing for a Super Bowl. One move with Dallas would be considered a splash move. It will be the Dallas Cowboys' responsibility this offseason to extend Micah Parsons. It's possible, though, he could generate a massive return through trade if they don't wish to pay the massive price tag. It is expected that the Cowboys will want to keep Parsons, but NFL Network's Tom Pelissero says the Cowboys have had internal discussions about trading him away. While there have been no trade talks, sources say there have at least been some internal discussions about whether to pay Parsons or trade him for a king's ransom, wrote Pelissero. If the Cowboys are willing to listen, they may get it. Cowboys COO Stephen Jones told NFL.com in December that the team will study the wisdom of having so much money invested in so few players, but added, "I can't imagine there's a scenario where he's not wearing a star on his helmet." Parsons would generate a great return if he were dealt. While the odds are low, Fansided's Desmond Ordonez proposed this trade that would send Parsons to the Green Bay Packers while adding two young players to fill positions of need. Cowboys receive wide receiver Jaden Reed, safety Javon Bullard, 2025 first-round pick, 2025 third-round pick. Packers receive edge Micah Parsons, 2025 sixth-round pick. The Dallas Cowboys are heading into the NFL offseason with a lot of work to do. Coming off of a 2024 season that saw them go just 7-10, it's clear that the team needs to add more talent. One intriguing storyline to keep an eye on this offseason will be about the future of star edge rusher Micah Parsons. Parsons, who will be entering the final year of his contract in 2025, has been rumored in a lot of trade speculation ahead of the offseason. While it's not likely that the Cowboys would move him, crazier things have happened in the NFL. With that in mind, a blockbuster suggestion has been proposed that would send Parsons to the AFC. Bobby Belt of 105.3 The Fan has suggested a trade idea that would send Parsons to the Cincinnati Bengals in exchange for Trey Hendrickson, the number 17 overall pick, and a third-round pick in 2026. Next trade proposal: you send Micah Parsons to the Cincinnati Bengals for Trey Hendrickson, their first-round pick, which is 17th overall, and a third-rounder next year, Belt said. You know that for the next 3 years, Hendrickson will probably be better than somebody you can draft in the first round. Cowboys predicted to make bold trade with Jets for star RB. It's no secret that the Dallas Cowboys will address the running back position this offseason. After having one of the worst rushing attacks in the NFL last season, the team's new coaching staff appears dedicated to focusing on the run for the 2025 campaign. There is one problem, however. Starting running back Rico Dowdle, who became the first undrafted player in team history to rush for 1,000 yards, is set to hit free agency and could demand a major payday. Considering Dallas' history on the open market, Dowdle could be priced out of the range Jerry Jones and company are willing to pay. That means Dallas would have to address the position in the NFL draft or free agency. There is also the option of a trade, which is the direction Sportsnaut's Andrew Bullerus goes with his prediction. Rico Dowdle may return, but the Cowboys still need more explosiveness in their backfield, Bullerus writes. Having clocked a 4.39-second 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, Breece Hall would fit the bill. Heading into the final year of his contract, the Jets may prefer trading Hall rather than paying a player that the new regime isn't invested in. To make the potential trade even more intriguing, Hall is only 23 years old. Hall has yet to make a breakthrough in his pro career and has only played in every game one of his 3 seasons, but he is on the final year of his rookie contract and could be an intriguing option for Dallas that would allow them to look elsewhere in this spring's draft. And you, fan? What do you think of Breece Hall's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.